My next guest and his story of redemption and second chances has inspired and given hope to so many, especially people whose lives have been defined by their worst mistake. But Shaka Senghor wasn't always giving motivational TED Talks. Before the lectures and penning a best-selling memoir, Shaka served 19 years in prison for committing second-degree murder at the age of 19. A kid raised in a middle-class family from Detroit who did well in school and dreamt of being a doctor one day. But physical abuse inflicted by his mom and his parents' split made life at home hard, so he ran away. To survive, he started dealing drugs and found himself seduced by street culture, which ultimately sent him to prison. Shaka Senghor, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. Really been looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah. All right. So before we get into your good works, I want to go back to your time in prison. You were just a kid when you went in, and I want to know what it was like for you then. What were you like? How did you get through that time, and how did it get you to this point in your life?
Yeah, going into prison, I was a very angry, bitter, and likely afraid youth. I was a kid. I was 19 years old. I had actually just turned 19 when I was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. And so I walked into this very volatile environment. And literally the first day I'm in actual prison, there was a brutal stabbing that took place. And that really kind of shaped the next 5 years of my life, because I realized that I had choices to make in terms of how I wanted to navigate that environment. And unfortunately, it's a very, brutal environment, and you have a decision to make between being a lion and a lamb. And I chose to be a lion, and I found myself getting in a lot of trouble.
Now, Shaka, I've been so inspired by your story and, of course, your work to reform the criminal legal system. But more importantly, you've been able to achieve a level of success in spite of your past. You talk about second chances. Can you tell me about your second chance? When were you given that chance?
A lot of times we hear all the language around, women and men incarcerated and children incarcerated as well, and their transition back to society. I inherently believe that all human beings are born with a certain level of genius, ability, and the means by which to contribute in a meaningful way. However, there's oftentimes structures in place that prevent that. For me, I was very fortunate. I met some incredible mentors inside. These are men who are serving life sentences. I call them one of three miracles. The second miracle was receiving a letter of forgiveness for the woman who raised the man whose life I was responsible for taking. And the third was a letter from my oldest son, who was about 10 or 11 at the time. And he wrote me this letter and told me that his mom had told him while I was in prison. And as a dad and as a man, it was devastating to hear those words coming from my child. And so in that moment, I really recognized that there was an opportunity for me to show up as a full human being, despite the fact that I was in solitary confinement at that time in one of the most desperate, mentally challenging environments possible. But the inspiration of knowing that if I overcome this, that I can leave my son with the valuable lesson that no matter what you go through in life, there's always the possibility that you can bounce back. However, it comes with real work. It's not an easy thing. It's not this cute thing that people try to neatly package into a redemptive story. It's years and years of doing the work, journaling, meditating. For some people, praying. For me, it was finding a purpose. And those things led me down a different path.
And we often choose to define ourselves by our worst mistakes, right? But you understand what it's like to have society doing the judging, placing a value on your entire existence because of that one mistake. What's the journey of having to reinvent yourself? What's that been like for you?
It's a very lonely journey. When I got out of prison, most people in my community and my family was like, hey, just get a job, go away. What they didn't account for is it's hard to get employed when you have a felony on your record. It's hard to find housing. It's hard to find all the building blocks of a successful life post-incarceration. So it's a very lonely journey, because I realized that this was really about me living my dream, not just returning to society, which a lot of people don't think about. They kind of try to box us into this idea that just get out, just get a job, and just go away quietly is enough. And I think, to me, that this does a disservice to who we are as human beings, absent what our past is, but just who we are as human beings. And I had a dream that was bigger than my circumstances, bigger than my past, and I fought hard to fulfill the promise of that dream. as I would hope for anybody, no matter what their circumstances. And I think we have an opportunity to really talk deeply about what that means for people coming home. If you're going to embrace our humanity, you have to embrace the fullness of all of it, including our dreams, our visions, our desires, our goals, and our efforts, and not just regurgitate our stories over and over for a very predatory and voracious consumer population.
Now, you pour so much into others. It's been your life's work. But what about you? Who's pouring into you? You know, we talked about this off air. What is dating like post prison, Shaka?
Oh man, dating life. So let's talk about the first part first. I mean, I'm really fortunate to have some of the most incredible friends in my life. My son is my biggest inspiration. He just fills me with love and empathy and compassion and thoughtfulness. And coming home, I was really fortunate to have good people enter my life. But it's difficult. It's difficult for anybody walking out of prison. I was gone for 2 decades. The world had changed. I miss what I believe is an integral part of the dating experience, all of my 20s and most of my 30s. And so coming home, I had to navigate that after a breakup and figure out, okay, what do I bring to a relationship and what is it that I ultimately need from a relationship? And what I realized the most important thing for somebody like me is somebody who actually understands me from a very contextual level. I don't move in the world the way that people who haven't been through what I've been through move in. And that can be unsettling if you don't know those circumstances. But then there's the reality of this other aspect of my life, the successful writer and entrepreneur and investor, where, I have to be conscious about who I'm dating and just the caliber of women that I'm dating. But I think the biggest lesson that I've learned is the value of understanding mental health. And it's actually Mental Health Month within the context of dating, because from relationship to relationship, you bring things into each relationship. So for me now, I feel like I'm in a great space. I've really taken on the mental challenge of understanding the things that I was missing from not being out here for 20 years, and understanding what's important for me to contribute to a partner. So I'm looking forward to continue to navigate this part of my life.